Hey, good afternoon. This is Quentin Aldridge, and I am here to do my first video blog. So the other blogs I have done have been on the internet through writing. So I thought this time I would do a video, I guess a blog actually. So this week I'm gonna talk about high school players going straight to the NBA. Is it what's best for the high school player? I think there's several reasons why you would say it's not what's best for the high school player. And the first thing is monetary reasons. I mean, if you have an opportunity to go start a job straight out of high school and make $500,000, you're going to do it. If somebody was to tell a high school kid, hey, you join the Army, we're going to give you a contract for $350,000, next year $450,000, and in 4 years you'll be making over $1 million, everybody would say this kid should join the Army. If there was an engineering company that said the same thing, hey, I know you're only 18, but we'll start you off with 200K, and within 5 years you'll be making over $1 million, everybody would say that this kid should jump in and do that. But when it comes to the NBA, now they're saying, oh, well, he should wait a year, maybe they go 2 years. Monetary, they should go. They should go straight from the high school to the NBA if they have the opportunity. The second one is development. When you're in college, you're restricted to how much time you can play, how much time you can work with the kids. You get 20 hours a week, and that's film, games, weightlifting, practice. When you're in the NBA, there is no restriction. So guys who go straight from high school to the NBA's development might be a little bit better if they go straight from high school to the NBA. Now, why would the NCAA or the NBA not want kids coming straight from high school to the NBA? Well, I can give you probably 800 million reasons why they would not want that. The NCAA March Madness tournament alone brings in over $800 million in their TV deal. And if you have your top players, if you have 5, 6 of the top players every year leaving high school and skipping college altogether, then they're still going to make money, but I don't know if they're going to make 800 million. Maybe it's 700 million, and you still look at it like, wow, it's 700 million. That's still a lot. Well, losing 100 million is still a lot as well. So I could definitely see why they would not be excited about people coming from high school to the NBA. They also say, well, we always look at guys and say, oh, this kid should have went to college. He's a bust. This kid should have, stayed in college all 4 years. He went straight from high school to the NBA and he's not playing well. Well, I did some research on the top 25 highest earning players in NBA history, and this is adjusted for inflation. But number 25, Dikembe Mutombo. 24, Tyson Chandler at 187 million. When it's adjusted to inflation, it's 215 million, straight from high school. So he's the number 24th earning player of all time. Alonzo Mourning at 23, Rasheed Wallace at 22, Jermaine O'Neal at 21. Adjusted to inflation, he's 216 million, straight out of high school. Juwan Howard at 20, Dwayne Wade, Vince Carter, Zach Randolph, Ray Allen, Chris Paul, Paul Pierce, Jason Kidd, Joe Johnson, Chris Webber, Pau Gasol. All right, so Pau Gasol is number 10. I know he's a foreign player, but he never went to college to play. He started playing professional at an early age overseas. And he's the number 10 all-time, adjusted to inflation at 253 million. I believe I said thousands earlier. That's millions. Number 9, Carmelo Number 8, Dwight Howard, $264 million. Never went to college. Came straight out of high school. Chris Bosh, number 7. Number 6, LeBron James, $303 million. Never went to college. Dirk did not go to college. Played overseas, played professional at a young age overseas, and then came and became a professional. $304 million. Tim Duncan. Number 3, Kobe Bryant, $400 million in his career, adjusted to inflation. Never went to college. Came straight out of high school, one of the greatest of all time. Shaquille O'Neal, and then the number 1 earning player of all time is Kevin Garnett. Came straight out of high school, adjusted to inflation is $445 million. So out of that 25, I think we counted about 10 to 12 kids who came straight out of high school and went straight to the NBA and was able to make a successful career. Now let's go and let's talk a little bit about a couple of guys who were unsuccessful. So I looked up the top 15 so-called bust of kids who came straight out of high school. And we're not going to go over all 15, but I did want to talk about number 15 and number 1. And so you can tell me, should they have gone to high school, to college. Number 15 was Darius Miles. He was drafted in 2000 out of high school. The Clippers took him. His career earning, he is technically, he has filed for bankruptcy, but his career earning was $62 million. Now, him going to college, would he have made more than $62 million? Not sure if it changes how much money he makes in the NBA. In fact, I would go out on a limb and say I'm pretty confident over half the people who go to college and stay 4 years, get their degree, go and get a master's, and get a PhD are still not making $62 million. So he was considered a bust. He had knee injuries. He only had a few good seasons. One of the biggest busts of all time. But guess what? He still had $62 million. So he went straight from high school to the NBA. He played a couple of years, and then he made $62 million. So for a player standpoint, I'm not understanding where is the positive in going to college if I can go straight to the NBA and make $62 million. Now, the number 1 bust of all time would be Kwame Brown. Michael Jordan selected Kwame Brown with the number 1 overall pick in 2001 when he was a co-owner of the Washington Wizards. For his career, he never averaged over 11 points a game. And he's now currently playing overseas in Europe. But his career earnings is excuse me, let me find that. Kwame Brown's career earning, his net worth is $30 million. I'm sorry, I was on a different page. So, he's the biggest bust of all time out of high school. Never averaged over 10 points a game. Several careers he averaged 4. He's currently playing in Europe. But his net worth is $30 million. Had this kid gone to college and then went to the NBA, could he have been a little bit more prepared, a little bit more matured, a little bit stronger to produce in the NBA? Possibly. But the NBA also has, supposedly, the best coaches, the best trainers, the best athletic trainers, the best everything. So if they could not get this guy to the level that he needed to play at, then 3 or 4 years in college would not have done it. With that being said, he is still worth $30 million. So it doesn't seem like it benefits the kids at all to go to college if they are physically and talented enough to play in the NBA. To me, it sounds like it benefits somebody else. Maybe the NCAA, maybe the colleges. Maybe it benefits the NBA just because it gets more notoriety on some of these kids. I could see that coming out of high school. LeBron James, everybody knew who he was. But some of these other guys who are J.R. Smith, he was drafted straight out of high school. Maybe if he had went to college, more people would have known about him. So when you send some of these top prospects to college, now you have the NCAA March Madness. More people know about them. They become a household name, which makes the NBA draft, puts them on a bigger stage. But from a player standpoint, I cannot see how a one-year rental deal with Kentucky, Duke, Carolina, Louisville, I don't see how a one-year rental deal can actually help these guys when they go to the next level.